Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get latest notifications.
Assalamu alaikum dear students, I hope you all are doing good. This is your physics class, and in today's lecture we are going to discuss about what is power. So what is power? You might have used this word most often in your daily life, like that person has less power while as another person has more power. So what is power? How we are going to define power? So actually we are relating power with work done. Work done. For example, a person A does 400 joules of work, while as person B does 300 joules of work. So from this thing I can see the person A has more power compared to person B. Why so? Because person A has done more work compared to person B. So we are relating power with the amount of work done. Amount of work done. If one person does more work, he has more power, while as if the another person does less work, he has less power. So we are relating actually power with the amount of work done. So I can write here power is defined as amount of work done per unit time. So we are denoting power like this, P. So power is defined as the amount of work done per unit time, that is W by T. What is W here? It is amount of work, and what is T? T is the time. So I am relating power with two things. One is work done, another thing is that is time. Let us suppose that both persons are doing same amount of work, 400 joules and 400 joules. So A does 400 joules, while as B also did same amount of work, 400 joules. Let us assume that the person A completes this work in 1 hour, while as person B completes this work in 2 hours. So although both are doing same amount of work, but person A completes this work just in 1 hour, while as person B took 2 hours to complete the same amount of work. So which person has more power? The person A has more power. Why so? Because he is completing the same amount of work in less time. So that is, I can relate power with two things. One is W and another is T. What is W? W is the work done, and what is time? What is T? T is the time. So if one person completes the work in less time, he has more power compared to the other person who took more time. So I am relating the power with time also. The one who does work in less time has more power, and the one who does same amount of work but took more time has less power. So two things are required to calculate work done. To calculate power. One is work done and another is time. So we require two things. One is work done, another is time. So I can define power as amount of work done per unit time. That is P equals to W by T. That is amount of work done per unit time. So we can define it in other way like this. It is rate of doing work. What actually rate means? That means work divided by time. work divided by time. So I am calculating the power, we are calculating the power in terms of work done and time taken. So power equals to amount of work done per unit time. Let us see here, if P is directly proportional to W, that means a person does more work, he has more power. That is, power has direct relation with the amount of work done. A person does more work, he has more power. A person does less work, he has less power. One more thing here, P has inverse relation with the time. A person takes less time, he has more power. If person takes more time, he has less power. So we are calculating work done in terms of, we are calculating power in terms of work done and time. So power equals to work divided by time. Let us discuss its unit, SI unit. We know that the SI unit of work is joules, while as the SI unit of time is second. So what will become the unit of power? It will become joule per second, which we call as watt. So the SI unit of power is watt, W-O-T-T, watt. The SI unit of power is watt. See you. Let us discuss now, let us define what is 1 watt of power. So power equals to work done divided by time. So it will become like, if amount of work done is 1 joule, if person does 1 joule of work in 1 second and time is 1 second, what will be the power? It will be like this. Power equals to 1 divided by 1. It will become 1 divided by 1. What is that? 1 watt. So how I am going to define 1 watt of power? If the power is said to be 1 watt, if 1 joule of work is done in 1 second. So I can write here, power is said to be 1 watt if 1 joule of work is done in 1 second. So if amount of work done is 1 joule and the time is 1 second, what will be the power? It will become 1 watt. So what is 1 watt of power? If 1 joule of work is done in 1 second, power is said to be 1 watt. It has bigger units also, like kilowatt. And what is 1 kilowatt? It is 10 raised power 3 watt. It is a bigger unit of power, that is kilowatt. 1 kilowatt equals to, you can write this thing like this also. 1000 watt makes 1 kilowatt. There is one more unit of power, that is megawatt. And what is 1 megawatt? It is 10 raised power 6 watt. 10 raised power 6 watt. There is one more unit of power, that is horsepower. And what is 1 horsepower? It will become like this. HP equals to 746 watt. So 746 watt makes 1 horsepower. So power has got different units. The first one is watt, which is the basic unit, that is SI unit. Then there is kilowatt, which is bigger unit. And there is megawatt. This is another bigger unit. There is one more, that is horsepower. And what is 1 horsepower? 746 watt. So these are the different units in which we are calculating power. So we know that power equals to W by T. Let us modify this equation a bit. P equals to, so we know that W equals to Fs. It will become like Fs divided by T. Or we can write this thing like P equals to Fs by T. What is S? Displacement. What is T? Time. It will become S by T is, what is that? Velocity. Velocity. So I can write here power is equal to F dot V. This is another equation to how you are going to calculate power. If you have force, if you have velocity, we can multiply those things, we can get power. So this is the first equation, this is the second equation, how we are going to calculate power. Let us do one numerical, how we are going to calculate power. See here, if 10 joule of work is done, 10 joule of work is done in 2 seconds, how we are going to calculate power here? We know that power equals to work divided by time. So power equals to, what is work here? 10 joules. What is time? 2 seconds. It will become 5 watt. So this is how we are going to calculate power. You need two things, work W and time. By using these two things, we can calculate power like this. I hope you have understood today's lecture. We will meet next time. Till then, Allah Hafiz, take care.